Good morning, good evening, or afternoon, pending the time you met or you come across this video. I want to address an issue. As you all know, this week I'm portion of Equa Youth International Week of Prayer, which they even celebrate their 50th year. Now, there's a question during the discussion and the presentation of the political apathy among Christian youth. After all this presentation, there are a lot of discourse. Now, at the course, then somebody posted this question. Let's read the question together. He said, as a Christian youth, how can you succeed in politics without involving yourself in political manipulation? And guess what? Somebody give him this as an answer. Now, this, let's read the answer. Here's what the guy said. He said, we are explaining politics based on Christian perspective, which is understandable, but I don't think a true Christian should be in present politics, or else you will lose heaven. Underline this word, you will lose heaven. I mean, Nigerian politics. You can never succeed in Nigerian politics without any form of compromise. Only those in Nigerian politics will understand this. Come to think of it. Why are Christians not fully involved in politics? Because they know they will be out of heavenly race. For you to succeed in politics is something else, but it is another thing to be on the process. Nobody should deceive you. Underline this. Nobody should deceive you. Wow. That you can succeed in Nigerian politics without any form of compromise. Nobody should deceive you. Mark, we are discussing of political apathy now. Now, this answer is what triggered me to make this video. Now, let's start from here. What do you think is politics first? Let's define politics. Then, who is a true Christian? Now, it is good for a Christian to partake in politics. Let's find it here. This cause for my action. Let's listen. To me, there are a lot of 1001 definition of politics, but let me just pick one. Politics is a process by which people make decisions about how a community, state, or nation should be governed, or the act of deciding, or how people will make decisions. That's what I term as politics. Now, let's paraphrase the other question. Is it good for a Christian or a true Christian to partake in decision making? That's the question. And now, what is even Nigerian politics? Because the guy in his answer, he said in Nigerian politics, that is the context. It is baffling. It is somehow barbaric. Many things are, but in this video, we'll address many things. But let's go to the Bible. Joseph, Daniel, Esther, Nehemiah, think of them. Do you think in that their time the system was not corrupt? Do you think at that time they find things easy? Daniel alone, without the majority, he conquered. That even make me remind about something. Something happened within, I think Kaduna State. One brother called Mike Dangata, this one. In his political race, because people knew him as a musician presenting maybe Christ, and he left one party to another, then people begin to castigate it. Let's think of it. If you are a true Christian, even if that happened, the Bible even said, if you think you are standing, if somebody go astray, you call him in love, pray for him, or this one. But what happened? Criticism, a lot of barbaric talk from Christian brothers for that matter. Now, is it good for a Christian youth or for a Christian to be involved in decision making of his country? That is why I'm here. Who is a true Christian? Many people have been caged. When we're thinking of true Christian, is it somebody without fault or with fault? A true Christian is a person that always realizes mistake and repents. because you cannot find somebody without any fault. Now, even if you're not in politics, are you free? Even if you're not in politics, are you without fault? Even if you're not in politics, is things going on? Then in Christianity, is there room for defending those that cannot defend themselves? For speaking for those that are going to speak for themselves? These are things that need critical examination. Most of the time, even if we go to school, we discover that they will say, oh, if you meet the president brother, they say, so they take a law or blah, blah, blah. No, that is a lie. This phobia, this fear that they implant, even if, that's why in many of the, you see, this fear has caused a lot of the disaster. That's why if you see many communities, if they see a rich man, they believe is an occult. If you see somebody succeeding in policy, they will believe that he compromised. Now, whether your voice is small, big, within that your community, you can make an impact. You can make the impact. Now, if you tell me you are a true Christian, then you need to be in politics. Even talk of loss of salvation. You see, that's where a lot of problems come in. This issue of losing salvation or you're saved, once saved is saved, is another doctrine on its own. In the Christianity, most of the people have been caged with some doctrine which are not reality. Now, if we are teaching political party and somebody is answering with this answer, then there's a problem. These kind of things, they are one that, many Christians fall their hands and things getting worse sometimes to the extent that many people are even leaving the faith because of hardship and many things. Because you say you cannot be involved in decision making of your state or in the governance or in the community. Rather, you fold your hands. You expect God to be able to come down and decide for you again. Good governance is your decision. Bad governance is your decision. This fear, they say, if you join politics, you will lose salvation. Who taught you that? Where did we? Maybe he's not good in biblical background. That is the problem, maybe. Because what I discovered is that, the Protestants, the Pentecostals, the Orthodox, every personality or every group has their own mindset. Some believe that they will lose salvation. Some believe that this is a dirty game. It's even now that I begin to see, let me say, Equa Insta begin to bring the issue of politics. But then you take us back 10 years back. You cannot even talk of politics in the church because they see it as a dirty game. But they are still enjoying the benefit of that dirtiness. We are talking of good mindset. If we are the salt of the world, and if we are the light of the world, where do you think we will light that light? We have to move in to that politics with our good mindset, with our good positivity, so that we can change things. Because in Christianity, we are not talking of you alone. Because you can eat bread, because you can do whatever you like, and then you think it's okay. No. After you, there are thousands you need to speak for. After you, there are people you need. Imagine Esther did not join the government house. And people could have died. Imagine Joseph in Genesis. Imagine Daniel. Imagine Nehemiah. Don't you think that their state of their condition is even more worse than Nigeria before? And they stood their ground. So the issue of that blah, 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 no. It's right time now. Take away fear. Take away fear. Listen to this. If there's fake, believe me, there's original. And if there is illegal, there's also a legal thing. And if there is the word compromise, then there is a standard. So the fact, and you cannot even conclude and say that all politicians will go to hell. And everybody you see in politics who will lose salvation. It's a wrong motion. It's a wrong motion. I am calling on the Christian youth. I am calling on humanity. Let's do our primary responsibility. The command was given to us, say, go you into the world. Make dominion. He that is in us is greater than he that is in the world. Then if you are afraid of the so-called many things, see, even if you sit in your room, you will still cry one day. Even if you sit in your room, those You know, those trouble you must come and meet you. So if you can speak, if you can move, if you can join the politics and correct, even if it is decimal correction, you make, fine, it's an achievement. Then at the tail end of the day, you do not join and still cry or leave this out without any impact. This world is not how long you live, but how many lives have you changed? The places you go, the people you meet, and you cannot get that opportunity unless we join this politics. Nobody should deceive that politics is a dirty game. If there's dirty, then definitely there must be clean. If there's fake, then definitely the original exists. If there's compromise, then standard also exists. Think twice. Think twice. This is call of alert. If you didn't have the sense, if you didn't have the time, create time, reason, think, think, think. A true Christian is not a Christian without fault, but a true Christian is a Christian that when he falls 7 times, he rise up 7 times. Thank you.